Hi friends, today we're gonna talk about the 10 life hacks or lifestyle changes that have benefited me the most on my journey. These are personal to me. I've tried many different things, and these are the 10 that have had the biggest impact on my life thus far. So let's get right into it. Number 1 is fasting. So I started fasting with intermittent fasting and a low-carb ketogenic diet. What that did for me was it allowed me to forget about food for a portion of the day. So I would eat between noon and 8 p.m. And outside of those times, I could forget about food. Once I'd committed, I could forget about food. The cravings, doesn't matter. You just stick to your window and you say, hey, I'll eat as much as I want within the guidelines of eating low carb, and turns out it's pretty satisfying to eat lots of fat. So who knew? Still tasty. And eventually I started trying longer fasts and eventually dry fasts. And the biggest plus for me from fasting is the mental clarity and the emotional stability. And as well as forgetting about food. Once you commit and you understand that your body can go on without food, that your body can switch to programmed cell cleaning, your immune response kicks in and takes care of all the crap in your digestive system, right? You're giving your digestive system a break. It goes in and it cleans everything for the first time. You say, hey, all right, my body's given a chance. I'm gonna clean everything out. You're gonna feel better when you're done. You might stink a little bit, it might be hard, you might be a little tired. A lot of little things are gonna happen. However, you know in the end that you're doing something great for your body and it helps you to stick to it. The mental clarity is beautiful. The emotional stability is something that was unexpected for me. The gut-brain connection it becomes clearly visible within yourself when it's when you're fasted. I feel that I'm less reactive emotionally, so I can see my emotions come up and I can choose. It's easier to choose how to react instead of just jumping at this, jumping at that. And it becomes clear that food has a huge role in how your brain operates day to day. That gut-brain connection is as real as it gets, and it affects everything about your life. You eat crappy food, you're gonna feel a little crappy, you're gonna act crappy, you're gonna think crappy. You eat good food, it's easier to have good thoughts, better actions, better decisions. When you don't eat food and you can handle it and you do it properly, everything's clear, right? There's nothing muddy, there's no weird signals coming from your gut telling you, hey, clear this out, there's something weird, I need more magnesium, I need more potassium, because that's what your body does. That's what it's telling your body, that's what it's telling your brain. Hey, you're craving this because of this negative input you put inside me. We need to fix it, and here's what we need, so we need to consume to correct. And when you're fasting, it's a different way of correcting, and there's none of those signals coming from your gut to your brain telling you what to eat and what to do and how to think and how to act. Fasting, I recommend for everyone. Not for children, but for anyone else who's struggling with anything at all. Fasting, everyone's gonna survive. You can die, I suppose, if you really don't know what you're doing, but everyone can go a day without food. You'll be fine. You'll probably be better off. All right. Number 2, meditation. I was doing everything in the field of health and wellness, trying every superfood, smoothie, everything. Meditation was the one thing that would keep coming up in everything I would read, books, articles, and all my time on the internet. Meditation would come up and would come up. I was like, yeah, okay, I know it's good for me, but it's not for me. I can't do it. I've tried, it doesn't work. No, well, turns out I had to find a way to commit to it. And when I did that, I found something, and they called it a breathing exercise, which was how I got tricked into it. It wasn't a meditation, it was a breathing exercise. But in the end, it's all the same. It really helped me to clear and quiet the mind. And I didn't realize how active and how much baloney was floating around up there until it was about a month into my commitment to meditating every morning that I really started to see the difference in how I felt physically overall and mentally. My mental state was completely transformed from what it used to be. It was as though I had regained a bit of awareness of how my brain operates, how thoughts come and go, how you can attach to emotions, and how to move on with life when you have stresses or anxieties. Huge. I recommend everyone practice any type of meditation or meditative activity, anything that's creative, anything that gets your mind to sit still, to not think, to just clear. Being out in nature is huge for me. It really helps me ground and connect to what matters. Meditation does that for everyone. Find your thing. There's 1,000, 10,000 different guided meditations on YouTube. There's anywhere you can stop, sit, and just breathe and let go of your thoughts. Just breathe and let go of your thoughts. That's it. And eventually you'll really start to see the benefits, as I did, and now it's a regular part of my life. Number 3, journaling. Journaling goes with meditation because for me, it gets the crap out of my mind, right? If I've got anxieties, fears, something I'm thinking about, something that I shouldn't be giving so much mental energy to, as soon as I get it on paper, I'm done giving it energy. I don't have to think about it. If it's a task I need to do, I see it on the paper. I don't need to ruminate or keep thinking and thinking and thinking. It's like, I know it's there. I know I'm gonna do it. Or if it's something that, a sore point in my life, you can write it down and you don't have to ruminate. There it is. It's on paper. Do what you want with it. Find your own way to process it. But writing it down helps to get it out of this abstract world into a physical reality where you can take a more conscious approach to dealing with it versus having it float around in your mind and never really do anything with it. It'll just keep coming back. It'll grow, it'll get bigger, it'll morph, it'll change. Write it down, cage it. Cage that crap that's floating around in your mind. Then you can deal with it properly. So for me, journaling is huge. Also for everything positive in your life, affirmations, visualizations, creating the life you desire, you need to get clear on what it is you desire. Writing it down will help. It's helped me, and I am pretty certain it can help you. Next, Bulletproof Coffee. Wow, thank you, Dave Asprey, for sharing this with the world. MCT oil, grass-fed butter, blended into a beautiful coffee in the morning. Intermittent fasting, that's how I started. I had the Bulletproof Coffee in the morning, somewhere around 100 and 150 calories from fat purely. It helps to increase ketogenesis, and it really curbs hunger more than anything I've ever had. So 100 to 150 calories of fat and coffee together is the most potent hunger craving curb I've ever experienced. Caffeine and fat blended together. It gives you lots of energy, your brain feels great, and you don't need to eat. So if you're fasting, I recommend adding Bulletproof Coffee to help you get through those times where you think you're gonna be low on energy. It worked great for me, and I still have them most mornings. They're amazing. Huge. Thank you, Dave Asprey. Next, conscious breathing. I have been a shallow breather, very tense in the chest my entire life, and I had no idea. And the physiological effects are massive. Massive, massive, massive. Your entire chest, your heart, your lungs, it's your power center, it's your heart center, your love center, all of that. It was tensed and constricted for my whole life, and when I finally started just taking deep breaths and being conscious of it, every deep breath, oh, I can release a bit of tension. Oh, I've been uptight, I've been anal, I've been hanging on to these negative emotions. Just the simple act of breathing helps me get rid of those. And when I started, I thought it was too dumb and too simple just to take deep breaths to take care of mundane, negative thoughts, feelings, conversations, people, whatever it is. Conscious breathing, and now I do all sorts of different conscious breathing exercises, all for different purposes, and they all have massive impact on my well-being. Energy body, your cardio, your ability to stay calm under any situation is directly related to your ability to control your breath in any situation. So that's why exercise is such a powerful tool to increase quality of life. So you're dealing with that breath. Holding that breath, controlling it, is exercising control over your body. It's the base of mind over matter, is controlling your breath. Next, speaking up. Okay, I've done a lot of keeping quiet when I know I should say something because I see something that I don't agree with, or that's wrong, or that will end up hurting someone or something in some way. I've never wanted to step on people's toes or to upset people by disagreeing with them. And it's caused me a lot of suffering, because instead of speaking up in the moment, I get to watch what unfolds from something that I believe is wrong. And when your heart tells you to speak up and then you close it up, you know what it feels like on the inside, and you do yourself and everyone around you a disservice when you don't speak up. So now I'm doing my best to, every time I feel my heart, just give a little poke about a subject. And especially if I feel like my voice may tremble or I might not be comfortable saying it, then I know I need to say it, regardless of what comes after I speak my truth. That's a big plus. That one's helped me a lot. Children is next. Children, I don't know if they're a life hack or a lifestyle change, but they sure flip everything upside down. The way they've helped me the most, the best I can explain it, is through the law of reflection. Your children become you. You raise them, you guide them, you teach them everything they know. They spend the most amount of time with their parents. And whatever it is that you don't like about them, or that annoys you about them, is a direct reflection of you or your parenting partner. And you can choose to say, oh, I don't know where she gets it, I don't know why they're being this way. Or you can say, you know what, it's something about me, or it's something about the other parent, and this child is mimicking what they're seeing. And if I'm getting angry or upset about it, it's because I don't want to deal with that same problem within myself. And children do not care. They're just going to do what they see you do. You can say all the nicest words to your children, but if you don't give them the example, well, they're going to follow your example. Say nice words but do the wrong thing, they'll do the same. Say nice words and do the wrong thing. If you do the right thing, they'll do the right thing. The law of reflection is very strong with children. You cannot ignore it. If you ignore it, you're going to have a bad time. and that's how children have helped me the most so far. Number 8, anti-food. Now, anti-food is anything you eat that will trigger an inflammatory response and require more nutrients and more energy to process, metabolize, and clear the food itself than the food will provide your body. So any junk food, anything deep fried, your hot dogs, your bags of chips, your chocolate bars, all that junk food, candy, basically you're giving your body a toxic load that the food itself doesn't give you enough energy to clear. It gives you cheap calories, but those calories don't provide the nutrients used to fight the inflammatory response. So you're getting cheap energy, but overall you're causing more harm to your body than you are supplying it with energy. So you're actually better off not eating junk food. Even if there's nothing to eat and you're really hungry, you're better off not eating junk food than eating it. Unless you're literally on the edge of starvation and death, you're better off skipping it entirely. Anti-foods, don't eat them. I've cut them out completely, and yeah, big difference. Number 9, humility. Okay, that's a good one. When I got together with my now wife, I was quite stubborn. Maybe I still am a bit, but I was quite the stubborn character then. And anytime there'd be a disagreement or an argument, my wife would point something out about me, and without fault, I would just point the finger right back at her. Yeah, well, you do this. Yeah, well, you're this way. Yeah, well, you do that. And even if I was right from my point of view, and even if she did do those things, I was unable to take responsibility for what she was saying about me. It hurt too much emotionally, so I would just point the finger right back at her. And eventually, after maybe 6 years of her working on me and training me, I finally gained the ability to humble myself in front of her and to admit that I'm wrong, even if I see other things that are wrong as well. That doesn't matter. If you could admit faults within yourself, then you can finally change them and move forward in a better direction. I didn't have that before, so it was tough to self-improve. Humility. Humble pie is now my favorite food, and I do my best to have a slice every day. Number 10, cannabis. Wow. Cannabis can be a tool and it can be a crutch. I've used it as both. As a crutch, as a means of escape, I would not recommend it because it takes a toll on your mental capacity when you overuse it. It's not addictive per se, but you can grow dependent as a means of living your life. If you like to smoke when you get anxious, and then you start using it every time you get anxious, then you lose the ability, or you stop trying to cultivate the ability to deal with anxiety in any other way, and that's a trap. So you can get trapped with using it for anything too much. Set and setting is most important, and intention. So when I started using it, it was recreational and I enjoyed it. The first thing I noticed that it helped me with was communicating with my wife. So cannabis really helps to synchronize your left and right brain hemispheres. And with that, I was able to communicate with my wife a lot better. Instead of just listening to her and pointing back at her, no, you do this, I was able to feel what she was saying because the left and right are firing together. So I was able to feel, and I was able to think logically and critically about what she's saying. And our relationship benefited tremendously from me using cannabis. I was able to connect with her on deeper levels, understand her better, and everything moved forward really well for us when I started using cannabis. So for me, it's been great. And then I started using it to meditate, and I realized, hey, this is what this is designed for. For me, this is what it's designed for. It helps you focus. It synchronizes your left and right brain. It heightens your senses. And when you meditate and you succeed in clearing your mind, you can center and really focus inward and go really deep with the aid of cannabis. It's been used in spirituality since the plant has been on this planet, and this is sorely overlooked in our society. It's what it's here for. It's not here to get super baked and eat a bag of chips and it'd be the best bag of chips you've ever had. I mean, yes, granted, that's bliss. However, that can lead to problems. And anti-food, no thank you. Cannabis is great. I always give it an intention before I use it. It's a psychoactive plant. It affects your consciousness, and you're connecting with this plant. So treat it with respect. Don't get the cheapest stuff. Get something, it's like food. You care about the quality, you should care where it came from, you should care how it was grown, who grew it, what's in it. Not just how much THC is in it, how high will I get. If that's what you're shopping for, you're not using it properly. So before you get your quality bud, and then before you use it, be clear on your intention. What would I like to use this energy to focus on? Do I want to meditate and get to know myself better? Do I want to use this to help me clean the house? Do I want to use this to focus on a creative project or get some work done that I've been putting off? I found that just putting that intention in place before you have any cannabis whatsoever has helped me direct that energy so much better than just smoking a spliff for the sake of feeling the high. So these are the 10 things that have helped me the most on my journey. There's another 10,000 things that I do that I'll share with you all in due time. Thanks for listening. Please try anything. Try everything I said. Try anything. Just try and find the things that help you for you. It's the only way you're going to make progress, is try shit. Alright. Have a great day, everyone.